Hello there, this is Rahul and let's continue with our Ansible series, and in this session we are going to talk about the Ansible variables. So what we are going to cover into this Ansible variable session. So we will first start with the very basics data types, that is string, boolean, and then gradually we will take a look onto the list and the dictionaries also. And furthermore, into this session, we are also going to take a look how to pass the variables at a runtime using the command line, and as well as how to access the variables from your vars file. And at last, we are going to take a look onto the variables precedence. So this is going to be a really comprehensive guide onto the Ansible variables. All right, now switching over to the desktop, and onto this screen, you can see this is the project which I have created, where I have created a lots of variables and the sample files over here. So I'm just going to share this link of this GitHub repository into the description section. So feel free to use this project and you can reference this example from this GitHub repository. Let's start with a very simple example. So here onto the screen, you can see this is the playbook which I have written. And the first variable which I'm just going to create is the string variable. And here onto the line number 11, you will see I have created a variable, and the name of the variable which I have kept over here is the main playbook variable. So that's the name of my variable. And the value I have assigned over here is the hello world from main playbook. So this is the simplest variable which I have created inside my playbook. And here, if you take a look carefully, the line number 9, here I have to put vars as a keyword inside your playbook. So this is the attribute which tells Ansible playbook that now everything below the vars or inside the vars is going to be the variables. So this is the first way of defining a variable inside a Ansible playbook. Now the question comes like how you're going to use that Ansible variable which you have created just now. So here inside the task, which is line number 13, here I have created a task which is a very simple task. I am keeping the playbook very simple over here, and inside that I have put a debug parameter over here, and inside that I have used that particular variable. So if you check the name of the variable, that is main underscore playbook underscore variable. So that's the name of my variable, and that's the variable which I have used at line number 11. So this is the simplest way you can create a variable, and you can use that particular variable inside your task. Now how to verify and how to test this playbook. So there is a readme which I have already created inside this Ansible project example. So here you can just run the first playbook command, because this is the simplest variable example which I am taking. That's why you just use this first command over here. And there are a couple of more examples I have written over here, but those we will take a look later. But just to keep the thing simple, this is the command which I'm just going to use to run my playbook. And the command is pretty simple. If I can go over here and if I do the soft wrap, then this is the inventory where I'm putting my host file. But since this playbook is running on my local host, so you don't really need to have a remote server over there. And secondly, this is the name of my playbook, that is Ansible variable playbook.yml. So that's the name of my playbook, which you can see over here also. So the playbook command, playbook run command is pretty simple over here. Let's copy this command from here and go to your terminal. So this is my terminal, and I'm just going to run this command over here to execute my playbook. And here we need to verify the task. So the task which we were referring to is string variable from main playbook variable. And here you can see the output which I have printed, the value of that particular variable. And that the value is hello world in main playbook. So let's check back into our Ansible playbook. So if you come over here, so this is the name of the task which we have just seen, and the value of the variable. So this is how you're just going to create a very simple variable inside your playbook, and you're just going to use that playbook or that variable inside your playbook. Moving further, now we have seen the string variable. Let's try to create an Boolean variable. So here onto the screen, you can see I have created a one more Boolean variable, and the name of the variable which I have kept it is like is enabled, and the value I have assigned is true. And here at the line number 21 till 25, you can see this is how I'm just going to use that particular Boolean variable. So here is the name of my task, which you can keep anything. And the message which I'm just going to print over here is variable is true. But this message will be printed when this particular value of that particular variable is true. So here you need to put a when condition for the Boolean variables. So based on this value of that particular Boolean variable, this particular message will be printed. So here the value is true. That means our message should be printed onto our console. Okay, so I'm just going to open my terminal over here, and I'm just going to run the same command which I have just executed previously, and just check the task. And here you can see the task is Boolean variable, and the value which I have got over here is variable is true. That means the true value has been satisfied, and I'm able to print the message. I'm just going to clear the screen, and next thing I'm just going to do, I'm just going to set the value to the false, and let's verify the task once again. So here, just go back to the playbook and set the value to false, and go to terminal and rerun the same command over here. So here you can see, so Boolean variable task has been executed, but nothing got printed over here into the message. So that means this is how Boolean is evaluated based on true and false. If you set the value to true, then that particular message is getting printed. And if you set it to the false, then that particular message is not gonna print. Moving to the next variable, which is our list. And here you can see line number 17 till line number 20, we have created a variable that is list, and the name of the list is fruits. And inside that particular list, I have added 3 fruits actually: apple, banana, and orange. So this is how you're just gonna create a list variable inside your Ansible. And the task is gonna be pretty much same. So here I have created a task where I'm just gonna use that particular variable. And here the name of the variable which I have used over here is fruits. So let's verify this particular variable. Go back to terminal and run the command. And here you can see we have printed the name or the list of fruit variables over here. Now we have seen the list variable, but is there possibility in Ansible to access the index position or a particular element in the particular list? So here we have created a list of fruits, but if I want to access the particular element inside that list, then how can I do that? So Ansible provides a way, and you need to use the index position. So here you can see I have created one more task, and inside that task I have specified the position of that particular element which I want to access inside the list. So here I have mentioned 0, so which means I'm trying to access the apple fruit inside that particular list. So let's go back to the terminal and verify whether it works or not. So I'll just clear the screen and I run the playbook. And here you can see the previous task where we have printed all the element present inside the list. And in this task, we are just printing that particular element which is present inside the list, and that is apple. So this is how you can access the elements inside the list with the index positions. Moving to the next variable, and this time we are going to take an example of a dictionary variable. So here onto the screen, you can see from the line number 22 till 26, I have created a dictionary. And what is dictionary? So here, this is the name of the dictionary, that is fruit prices. And inside that dictionary, you will see the price of an apple with its value. But just remember from the previous thing, so a previous list variable was only containing a list of a single element. So that is apple, banana, oranges. There was no price associated with it. But here in the dictionary, you have a dictionary name that is fruit prices. And inside that dictionary, you will find the name of the fruit along with its prices. So this is how we are just going to create a dictionary inside the Ansible playbook. Let's scroll further down into the playbook and print the value of a dictionary. So here I have created one more task, that is dictionary variable, and accessing the value of those particular dictionaries. And this is the name of that particular dictionary variable which I'm going to use. So I'm just going to head back to terminal and I'm just going to run the playbook once again. And here you can see the dictionary variable task has been executed successfully. And here I can see the values of my particular dictionary. So this is how you're going to create a dictionary, and this is how you're going to access that particular dictionary variable inside your playbook. Now let's play around this dictionary variable. So I'll scroll up and here you can see this is the dictionary we are having. So what if, is there any possibility to access that particular element inside that dictionary? So here I would like to access only apple. So is it possible? So my answer is yes. Ansible provides you a way to access a particular element present inside the dictionary. So here I have created one more task for accessing that particular variable, that is apple, inside the dictionary. So what you need to do is you just need to create the task with the name, and then you need to put the variable name of that particular dictionary along with the particular element name, that is apple. So that's how you're going to access that particular element which is present inside that particular dictionary. So I'm just going to head over to terminal to verify this. So let's head over here and run the playbook. And here you can see the dictionary variable accessing individual specific field. So here you can see the value of that particular element, that is apple, and that is 0.5. So this is how you're just going to access that particular element which is present inside your dictionary. And this concept is pretty much same if you compare with the list when you're trying to access the apple present inside that list. So this is how you're gonna use that particular accessing of that particular element inside the dictionary. Now I'm just gonna take one more example on top of that particular dictionary. So where I'm just gonna take one more variable. So if you're familiar with any programming languages, then you create a multiple variables and then you assign a particular value of that variable to any other variable. So here we have created a dictionary, and from that dictionary I'm just gonna fetch the value of that apple and then assign that value to another variable. So here onto the screen you can see the line number 54 till 57. So here I'm just trying to fetch the value of that particular apple and then assign that value of that particular variable to another variable. So that we call it as a register variable in Ansible. So here you need to use the keyword register so that you can register that particular variable, and this particular value which is present over here is going to be assigned to this particular variable. And to verify this, what we are going to do, we are just going to print that value of that registered variable. So here I'm just going to print it onto my command line. So this is how you are going to do the variable assignment to any other variable using the registered variable in the Ansible playbook. Okay, let's open the terminal and run the playbook to verify the value. So I'm just going to clear this one and run the playbook. And here you can see get the price of an apple and print the value of a registered variable. So this particular task here, you can see there is nothing got printed. So if you can check over here, so in this particular task, we are just doing the assignment. We are not trying to print anything. So we are just trying to assign the value of an apple to the registered variable. And after that, in the next task, which is to print the value of a registered variable, where we are just going to print the value of that particular registered variable. So which you can see and verify from this particular terminal. So this is how you are just going to play around with a multiple variable assignment into your Ansible playbook. All right, so now we have seen the register variable in Ansible. Let's increase the complexity of a variables a little bit more. And here we are just going to play around with a couple of dictionaries. So the first dictionary we will take is the fruit price list, and the second dictionary which I'm just going to take is the nested variable dictionary over here. So here you can see this is the fruit basket, and this is the first element inside that particular fruit basket, and there is a name, and then inside that there is a particular list of fruits, which is apple and orange. And similarly there is one more fruit basket for yen, and there are fruits like banana and apple inside that fruit basket. So what I'm just going to do, there is a scenario which I'm just going to take. So first of all, I'm just going to fetch the fruit basket. Then I'm just going to fetch the first element, that is the John's basket. And inside that basket, I'm just going to fetch the apple. And after fetching this particular fruit from this basket, I'm just going to use the fruit price list to fetch the prices of that particular apple. So that's the scenario, and I just wanted to show you that this is how you're just gonna mess around the dictionaries and you're just gonna iterate on those particular complex dictionaries. All right, so now how to achieve that? So if you go down into the task, so here I have created a particular task, and this task is pretty simple, but just to give you the context. So first of all, I'm just gonna access the fruit basket. So that is this fruit basket. And if you go up over here, so this is the fruit basket, and here I'm just trying to access the 0th element, that is John's basket. So I'm just going to put 0, and after that I'm just going to put one more 0 into the fruits. So let's go here, and here you can see the fruit basket. I just wanted to access the John's fruit basket, and after that in the fruits basket I'm just going to access the 0th element, that is apple. So this particular expression is gonna return me apple. And once I get that particular value, that is apple, then I'm just gonna apply it to the fruit prices. So that is our, again, if you go up over here, that fruit prices is again another dictionary. And inside that dictionary, I'm just going to mention that I just wanted to fetch the apple. So this particular whole expression is going to return me apple, and once that has been returned, and then this expression is going to return me 0.5, which is the value of that particular apple. All right, so now we have seen like how to use that particular expression and access the nested element inside the dictionary. So let's run, I'll just undo the task and let's go to terminal and run this thing. I'll just clear it and run it. And here you can see where it is. Yeah, get the value of an apple from a nested variable. So that was the task, and which you can see over here, get the value from a nested variable. And if I go back to terminal once again, so here you can see the value of that particular fruit, which is apple. So this is how we are just going to access the nested elements inside the dictionary. All right, so now we are a bit familiar with the our dictionary variable and the nested dictionary variable and how to access them. The next thing which I'm just going to show you is the Jinja 2 filters. So here, this is the task which I have created for Jinja 2 filters, and these Jinja 2 filters are really helpful when you want to do some kind of a string manipulation, like converting lowercase to uppercase. So these Jinja 2 filters are really handy, but that's converting to lowercase and uppercase is just one example or one use case, but there are n number of applications of Jinja 2 filter. So the idea is just to learn the concept of a Jinja 2 filters over here. So here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to access the keys of my fruit prices. So if you go over here, so this is our fruit prices dictionary and the keys are apple, banana and orange. So I'm just going to access only the keys. After that, I'm just going to convert that particular keys to the list. So here, if you see the pipe, then this pipe is a Jinja 2 filter, which is converting this particular keys to list. After that, I'm just going to use again the same Jinja 2 filter and convert it into uppercase. So this is how I'm just going to do the uppercase conversion of my keys. And finally, I'm just going to print it in, I'm just going to convert it into again a list. And this particular task is going to print the value of that particular list. Let's run this particular playbook once again. And I'm just going to, oh, the screen is already clear. So I'm just going to run the playbook command. And here you can see using the Jinja 2 filters on variables. So this is the name of the keys like apple, banana, orange, and which got converted into the uppercase. And these are now lists. These are not dictionaries anymore. So this is how you're just going to use the Jinja 2 filters inside your Ansible playbook. Moving further, so till now you have seen like how to create the variables inside your Ansible playbook and how to access those particular variables. Now, if I talk about the scenario, if you want to create a variable inside a different vars file and you don't want to create the variable inside the same playbook, so then how you're going to do that? So if you take the next example, which I'm just going to show you over here. So this is the sixth example, which I'm just taking where I'm just going to declare the variable or I'm just going to create the variable in a different vars file. So the name of the file is my vars.yml. And if I open that file, so inside this Ansible variable project, there is a file which exists like my vars.yml. And here I have created that particular variable. So this is the name of my variable, that is vars from my vars.yml. So this is just a dummy name I have taken, and this is the value which I have assigned to that particular variable. So this particular variable doesn't exist into my main playbook, but it exists into a separate vars or variables file. So how to access those particular variables? So first of all, you need to specify the reference or the location of that particular variable or the vars file. So here you need to first use the attribute that is vars file, and here you can specify the variable file name, that is my vars.yml. And here you can reference or you can include multiple vars files. So if you have more than one file, then you can just keep on adding the vars file name over here, and Ansible will be able to include those variables file inside your playbook. So here I have just taken a one example. So here there is a one file, and inside that I have created a one variable. And how to access that particular variable? So accessing part is still the same. Your task is gonna be look like still the same. So here I have just created a one more task, and here I have used the variable that is vars from my vars file. So if you copy this and if you go over here, then you should be able to find it. So this is the variable which I'm trying to access it. All right, so now you have seen this particular example. Let's go to terminal and execute it. So I'll clear it. And here you can see this is the name of the variable and this is the value of that particular variable. So idea was over here is like how to include or how to use the variable file, which is external, not external, but at least present into the different directory of that particular project and reference it into your Ansible playbook. So this is how you're just gonna do the inclusion of that particular variable file. All right, so now we have seen like how to create a variable inside the playbook, how to create a variable inside a variable file. But next thing which I'm just going to show you like how to pass the variable at runtime. So here I have just created a one task. The task is pretty simple again. So this is the name of the task and this is the value of that variable version. But the key thing over here is that I have not declared this version variable inside this playbook. So if you will not just find any reference over here if you go to the top over. So here you can see there is no reference to that version variable. And if you go to the my wars files over here, then also there is no reference to the version variable. So this particular version variable which you see over here at line number 96. So this version variable I have not declared anywhere, but I'm just going to pass that particular value of that variable at runtime. And how to do that? So if you open this particular readme file, so till now we were just simply executing this Ansible playbook, but here at the line number 10, this is the playbook command which I'm just going to use to pass the variable at runtime. And to do that, what you need to do, you just need to add extra flags, that is extra vars for extra variable. And here you need to specify the name of the variable, that is version, and its value. And similarly, you can pass one more variable, other variable, and the value, that is foo. So here you can pass the runtime variable to your Ansible playbook. And you cannot just only pass one variable, but you can pass multiple variables. Let's copy this command from this particular readme and go to your terminal over here and clear the screen and paste the command. And here you can see get the value from a runtime. And if you go back over here, so get the value from the runtime, and the variable is version, and you can see the value, that is 1.0. and if I show you again the readme file, then you can see 1.0. So this is how you're just going to pass the variable at a runtime using your Ansible playbook command, and you can access the same variable inside your playbook. Alright, so now we have seen like how to pass the variable at a runtime from the command line. The next concept I'm talking about is, can you pass the variable file from the command line? So yes, you can do that in your Ansible playbook. So here I have already created a my wars file that is present inside my project. And inside that wars file, I have created a variable that is other variable, and the value is foo. So here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to print the value of a other variable. But I'm just going to run my Ansible playbook command a little bit different. So here in the readme, you will find a one more command, and here I have used the extra vars, and here I have passed the YML file. So instead of passing an runtime variable individually, I'm just going to pass the complete YML file name at runtime. So this is the way you should do it. And you can even pass the JSON file also. So what you need to do, you just need to put @ and after that the name of that particular file. But always remember, try to put the correct path. So if this file is present inside some of the directory, then just use that particular path relative to that your Ansible playbook. But anyway, this playbook is available over here, and this YML is also available onto the same level. So I'm just gonna go to terminal, I'm just gonna clear the screen, and I'm just gonna run the command. And here you can see the value has been printed, the other variable foo, and the print the value of a variable when var file is passed at a runtime. So that's the name of that particular task. So this is how you're just gonna you're just gonna pass the variable from the command line. So this is what I just wanted to show you. This is one more example where you can use the runtime variables. Now the last thing which I just wanted to cover into this variable session is the variable precedence. So how the variable precedence happen when you have multiple variables with the same name. So let's take an example to understand this. So in the my wars files, I have created a variable that is other variable with the value foo. But in the readme file at a runtime, I'm just passing the same variable with the value foo world. So again, I'm using the same variable, but I'm trying to pass the two values. One is present from the wars file, and one is I'm passing it from the runtime from my command line. So which precedence or which value will be getting printed once I run and execute this particular task? So the answer is, if you pass anything from the command line or from the runtime, which is present over here, will get the precedence. So that's the priority of the variable. If you pass anything from the command line, then that variable value will always be used inside your Ansible playbook. So let's run this and see this in action. So I'll just head over to terminal. Let me first copy this particular command. Go to terminal. I'll clear the screen and paste it over here. And here you can see this is the value which got printed, that is foo world. But here in the wars file, the value was foo. So it will always override. If you pass anything at a runtime, then it will always override the values which is present inside your Ansible playbook, or if you have created a variable inside your wars file. So runtime is always gets the precedence over any other variable. So that's the precedence order I just wanted to show you inside this Ansible playbook. All right, so that's what I just wanted to show you into the today's session on Ansible variable. But in the next session, which is going to be a little bit short session because you are already familiar with the variables, but in the next session, we are going to talk about the environment variables and how to use those environment variable inside your Ansible playbook. So that's going to be the next session. And after that, we are just going to talk more about the if then else statement and how to use those if then else statement inside your Ansible playbook. So stay tuned and see you into the next session of Ansible. And if you're interested in any other DevOps topic like Terraform, Kubernetes, then please go out and check my channel where I have uploaded those sessions. So till then, take care and bye-bye.